Hello. This is another Plim Talks event, and I'm here with my co-host of the Dead Languages podcast, Carson Winter, whose birthday was only a few days ago when he was birthed out of the womb. Were you natural or C-section, Carson?
All natural.
Nice. We love that for you.
Oh
So
yeah,
happy birthday, Carson, and we're celebrating another birthday in it that you yourself birthed a book this week. Was it
I
natural
did.
or C-section?
It was natural. I think it was natural.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. Did it tear you from like one hole to another? I heard that happens.
No, but Ingram Spark did.
Yeah. That's the dad of the book. So this event, we are celebrating Carson Winter's collection, Portraits of Decay.
hmm
Yay! It just came out. Clap, everyone clap. You have one with you, don't you? Do you want to show it off? I have the cover here, obviously.
Uh,
So fun fact, you actually did that cover yourself. You hand painted that.
I did. Yeah, I painted this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just classic acrylics. It's actually a combination of two paintings. I did, and then I did some little layering, a little bit of digital manipulation. But yeah, that's all me, and that was kind of a big part of this project, is I want to take on as much of it as I could.
Yeah. And look at how happy you are about it.
That is so terrifying, though. That is like legit fucked up. I'm pretty sure I saw that like on 4chan in 2006. Like that's messed up.
But look, doesn't it match?
It does. Yeah. I mean, hey, it is a self-portrait of Decay.
Yeah, there you go. So you have a loving audience here. I'm going to read out what they had to say.
Oh
So
my.
Shan thinks you have a great butt.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets a lot of use for sure.
Eric McHatton, you're his inspiration.
Aw, Eric. You're mine
L
too.
L says you're a truly funny fella.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Andrew Verlaine, if I said your last name right. Thanks for your kind words on my novel. We stuck the quote on the cover. Also, nice butt.
Oh, fuck yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Good to hear that.
Yeah, Arwen Sherman, congrats you on exiting your mother's womb successfully.
35 years ago, I did it.
Yeah,
And to this
yeah,
day, we still celebrate it. That's how notable the experience
yeah.
was.
Um, fuck, Ide, Ide, Ida Hennessy says fucking rad cover artwork. Every time,
Thank
girl,
you.
every
Thank you.
time. Um, TJ says Carson is one of the most generous and community-oriented artists I've ever had the pleasure to know. His skill in writing provocative and cerebral fiction is enviable, but his warmth and heart is even more so. Happy
Aw.
birthday.
Aw, thank you so much, TJ.
Oh, and you share a birthday week with Shan. Happy birthday.
Shan, badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring in the fury to June.
Tej says he should have said something about your butt too and feels left out.
Dude, we have a
Yeah.
lifetime to
Yeah.
discuss my ass. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're here to celebrate. This is your debut collection, right? Yes.
Yeah, this is my very first one. My first full length, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and obviously we're doing three giveaways and the books will be signed and they come with the special merch. Do you want to share the merch?
Yeah, yeah. So we got this cool a Halloween decoration named the Harried Man, based on the very first story in the collection. This is a Halloween decoration that you can put up in your very own house and scare yourself and children with it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and this was actually designed by P.L. McMillan. You've probably heard of her from the Dead Languages podcast, but she did some really great work on this, and I'm really stoked to be sending this out with our
Yeah.
pre-order bundles.
Yeah. And thanks to cousin wife for cutting that out and putting it together.
Yes, she did. She did the work. She did a little craft one day and
Yeah.
put it together, and it's been hanging in my office. And during like all of my Zoom meetings at work, people are always like, "What's that on your wall?"
You have to explain it every time.
I've stopped. They usually are like they'll ask something what it is and they can't guess it. Like, how would you guess it? So I just say no and leave it at that to whatever they say because at a certain point, it just gets too much to explain, and I don't want to be the dude in the work meeting who's promoting his book. Where I'm like, Portraits of Decay out now.
Out now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you pay Carson enough money, I'm sure he'd give you a copy with this face on it instead.
Oh, that'd actually be a great double dip
Yeah, just like
for
the
sure.
extra special edition.
Yeah, and you know, it's made out of the same material, and it only took 5 minutes in Canva to create the alternate. But we
Hmm.
are actually charging double.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, yeah, it took me like 5 minutes to manipulate your face here. I had to ask you for that 3/4 look, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Because like none of your selfies were in color and none of them were the right angle, so I could make it look like that.
yeah. Most of my selfies are too moody.
Hmm. Yeah. $80 from Cairo, I don't even know. Chiroptera Press.
Chiroptera. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Eric, that's hilarious, Eric. Because yeah, if you guys don't know, Chiroptera has been doing a lot of repressing of
Mm,
Legati books, and they are gouging hard. They are gouging hard on books that are like mostly still in print. But yeah, they're just straight face selling books at like 80 to, over $100.
yeah. Well, shall we do the first giveaway, Carson?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Everyone give me the drums or peaches because we're celebrating Carson's ass. I'll
Oh
take
wow.
peaches too
Okay.
as well as drums or drums and peaches.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to hit my wheel. Dum
Thank
da
you, TJ.
dum. Yep, yep, yep. There we go, Teach. Coming back on the butt train.
Wow.
The first winner of a signed copy of Portraits of Decay with the harried man is D. Matthew Urban. D. Matthew
Oh,
Urban.
hell yeah.
Wait, I met you recently, didn't I? At StokerCon? Wait a second. Okay, let me write down your name. D. Matthew Urban. There we go.
And
Yay!
funny enough, I've heard great fucking things about D. Matthew Urban's collection.
I thought you were about to say his ass
Oh
because you paused
God.
and I thought we were talking about asses.
Yeah, and we're getting some comments here. Shaky
Yeah,
pictures of vanished faces.
yeah,
Christy also says his collection's great.
yeah,
Blushing on your ass.
yeah, yeah,
Great, Dave. I love that. But yeah,
yeah.
I am really excited actually to check out this collection
Yeah,
too.
Eric
So
loved it.
yeah, and if Eric loved it, I know it's fucking good.
Yeah. Well, congrats. Oh, after the event, I'm going to contact all the winners through the email that you used to register, and then I'll connect you with Carson, Portraits of Decay Out Now winner, and
Yeah.
he will get your shipping info and send you the prizes. So that's pretty cool. And it is also very cool because there's only a limited amount of the Harried Man. So once
Yeah.
it's out, because I doubt Carson's ever gonna try to print them again.
No, I'm gonna be really lazy about it.
Yeah. So okay, Carson, also thank you for like taking over host mode. That's how you can tell we podcast together. You just start reading it yourself. Somebody cue big free Diaz Mo as already with all this talk of butts. Yeah, it's so true. So true. So let's do a little bit of an interview.
Elle,
So,
maybe you should
oh,
make us a playlist of all ass related
yeah.
songs that we could promote these events better with.
Yeah, I think that would probably be for the best. And I think from now on, I'll make like the promo images. I'll like sneak in an ass somewhere. Like I could have
Yeah, yeah, just put
made
it in the
your neck
background.
bit an ass, you know?
Oh, that'd be perfect. I mean, what else
Yeah,
would
I
people
missed
want?
out. I missed out. Or I could have put like a little peach in your mouth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe too subtle even.
Maybe too subtle. I would have to make it like your face on a peach.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think you would have to replace a picture of like a spread ass and like literally put my face on the anus.
we love that. We love that for us. So I did not prep Carson Winter with
No,
these
I have no
questions.
idea what's gonna happen
I
here.
decided that we should just go buck ass wild,
Oh no.
make him uncomfortable.
Okay.
Um, so we'll start with, you've been on a lot of my events now at this point. So we've talked about like the beginning of your journey. So how do you feel now? Like you have books, lots of books out, lots of books in production. You have your first collection out. How are you feeling about your journey? Is there anything you wish you would have changed? Is there anything you're really proud of?
I kind of wish as a kid that I liked things that were more commercial. And that today, I'd be writing books people really, really want to read. But instead I'm a weird fiction author because I've always liked weird shit. But it's funny you asked me this because this is like the best day to ask me this very
Oh,
question.
good. Why? What happened?
Be well, there's two parts of this.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no.
First, it very positively.
Hmm.
I was rereading The Harried Man to prepare for the reading today,
Yeah.
and I felt a lot of pride in my work when I read it because I felt like it's a simple story. It's like, 2,000 words long, but it feels like something I wouldn't have been able to write when I was starting. So I definitely had that moment where I felt like, oh wow, I've come so far from when I like started this journey. Because I was literally reading it and I was just like, patting myself on the back the whole time. I was just like, this is the best fucking story ever written. It's not, but it's one of those moments where you read something you wrote and you're like, okay, yeah, this is why I do this. Like I was able to communicate this idea that I had within me, and it really came together. The other moment is like way more obnoxious.
Yeah, hit us
But
with that.
today I was also there's a writing group on Facebook, and what made me feel really good about myself is, there was an author, of course, talking about their process using AI. And I was like, hey, why would you do that? Did you not feel like pride in your
Yikerinos.
work? And then somebody actually tried to play gotcha with me. And I was like, well, what books have you written then? And I was like,
You're like, bitch,
finally!
finally my time has come.
Someone set me up. But besides owning noobs on Facebook, because like really I should be doing other things with my time, it was nice to look back and see like, I whether I'm feeling good about writing at one point or another, it always waxes and wanes, I'm sure as it does with all of us. Um, that there are concrete goals that I've made, I've surpassed, I'm very, very proud of and very, very happy of. It's very easy to constantly move the goalposts when you're a writer, but I think it's equally important to kind of just stay present and look back on the stuff you've achieved, what you're proud of, and also keep it art focused. Like the whole point of any of this is making cool art that we believe in, that we're excited about, and it's it could be very it can be very distracting, I think, to get too in the weeds with, am I a success or not? But I think I'm feeling really good about my journey lately, and whether, I sell a million books or 100 books, I'm really, really fucking proud of the books that I've written.
As you should be, the psychographist out now.
Yeah.
So, when I encouraged people to bully you for your birthday, a
Yeah.
lot of people had a common thing to say, including
Yeah.
me, which is the fact
Okay.
that you always want to better your craft and help others
Mhm.
to do your same. I said that, and Patrick Barb also said you're a passionate advocate for new writers as well as weird fiction and weird fiction writers. How
No.
does that make you feel considering you always try to seem grumpy all the time, but really you're just a big teddy bear?
Well, I mean, I'm happy that people see that. I think I always feel like, I don't do enough, or there's always more that we can do. But I'm stoked that, people consider me an advocate for anything at all. I think we're all just kind of trying to do our best in this very, very small space where, even right now, I'm looking at all the audience members, and I'm pretty sure every single person is a writer. So writers are also our audience so often. And I think for me, like, punk rock is a huge part of my life, and kind of destroying that barrier between audience and artist and welcoming that kind of commingling. The fact that, you, some of you might buy my book. I'm probably going to buy some of yours. We're going to read each other over time, and we're both going to be appreciators of each other's art. I think that kind of mutual engagement is really, really important, I think, to creating a healthy scene, because it's not a huge scene. We're not necessarily going to sell, 10,000 copies in some of the genres and the subgenres we're working within. So I think we really do need to embrace the fact that, like, um we need to be here for each other. So I try to stay involved in the indie horror scene. I try to champion the works I really like, and I try to, just keep abreast of like what's coming out, because the genre doesn't end. It's constantly evolving, and as a lifelong horror fan, I want to be a part and witness its evolution, by my peers.
So TJ says, so basically what you're saying is that we're the human centipede. In the
Hell yeah.
human centipede line, where are you?
Oh fuck. Um, I'm probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm
eating and shitting.
yeah, I'm like, so let's see. Let's say Legati's like second in line,
Yeah.
and there's probably two people between me and Legati, and I'm just eating their shit constantly.
Who's in the first hand position?
The first? Oh
Yeah.
fuck.
Because if Legati's second,
Probably Poe.
oh, where's TJ since he asked?
TJ's got to be somewhere in the middle with me.
Yeah.
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 We
Just a
might be
few
sewn to
degrees.
each other for
Yeah.
all I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he says he's got the needle and thread, so you guys are
Hell
good to
yeah,
go.
brother.
So
Let's go.
let's
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 party.
dive into the reason we're
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's
celebrating.
go back
Oh,
to this
okay.
human centipede for a
Okay,
minute.
sorry. I was like, oh, shame
Whoa.
on me. Like
Well,
we
we,
didn't
we,
dig
we
into
moved
this
too
yet.
quick. No, 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 no. Come
Okay,
on.
let's continue.
Well, now I'm thinking, like, is there a
Yeah.
way that we could structure the human centipede into a human pyramid, maybe, where like one ass maybe goes into two mouths, and then
I
like
mean, you could
each,
probably surgically like cut the rectum and then stretch it into like two parts and then re-sew it into an orifice. Where's Dr. Nina? Like,
oh, we really need to run this by a professional. I
but then
think we're
how do
onto
you make
something.
sure shit's going down both chutes? You know what I mean?
I know, Eric. Clem baited me. She knew I couldn't resist.
Um, are,
Okay.
are, are we still talking about it? Are you okay
No, no, no.
now?
We're good. Keep
Okay,
going.
okay,
Keep going.
okay. All right. So we're here celebrating Portraits of Decay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
So yeah, we're stoked, It's your debut collection. How does it feel to have
Hmm.
it out?
Now it feels amazing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was very stressed for like the first half of, like, pretty much, yeah, since beginning of the year when I kind of decided to do this. And I
Hmm.
decided to do it through Salt Heart Press, which that decision was basically saying, "Hey Plem, I want to put this out through Salt Heart Press."
And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, you need
Um,
help? You were like, no. I was like, cool.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited that it's finally out, because I think for horror authors, particularly, like, short fiction, I think is really, really fundamental to our genre in ways it isn't in other genres, or maybe it's not as like the most popular form, where like a lot of kind of the famous iterations of horror fiction, especially in the 1800s and turn of the century, a lot of it is primarily short stories. We talk about kind of the big names of horror, and all of them have a substantial uh short fiction bibliography, like Poe, Lovecraft, Richard Matheson, Ray Bradbury, Shirley Jackson, and so on and so forth. So I think in a lot of ways, the single author collection in horror, it just means something a little bit more than in other
But you say nobody
genres.
reads it.
No, except everybody in this room, all of my other writer friends, and all of these people who are really dedicated to the genre. Absolutely, we read it, we love it and stuff, and that's kind of who this is for. And um, like honestly, for me, it's just it might be a smaller release in like compared to like how novels sell and stuff, but the collection to me almost signifies like, oh, I am now part of this kind of really grand conversation that I've been witnessing and listening to for pretty much my entire life. And to be a part of it now is it's really fucking cool as a horror fan.
Yeah. And I just want to call out those were your words I used against you. You're always saying people never read collections or anthologies.
Well, it's true. Like,
Yeah, brave move.
well, there's even, in local to me, there's a horror reading group, and one of the people there is very open. Like, they just don't do collections at all. They don't like short stories. And I think once you kind of get out into the wider reading world, collections are just a little less popular. They're not what people reach for. But that's also why I'm thankful for having this kind of dedicated community of horror writers, because the people who get it, they get it, they love it. So yeah, it's just cool.
So obviously, if we want to prove Carson wrong, which I love doing, make all of your friends buy this book. So suddenly
Wow.
he becomes a bestseller, and then he has to like be like, well, I guess people do write collections, and then we laugh and laugh and laugh because our plan's successful, and I get to
That's
rub it
it.
in forever.
Yeah, I could have gone into STEM, but I really just rolled the dice on short fiction
Yeah,
collections.
we fucked up. No.
Yeah.
Also, Elle did provide. She created you a Spotify playlist, so make sure you save that. It's called Carson's Butt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you make
This
sure you
is kind
save
of an
that.
honor.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Bootylicious.
yeah,
Baby Got Back. Shake Your Ass featuring Pharrell Williams. Anaconda. Oh, I kind of love that song.
yeah.
Fat Bottom Girls. That is like the most classic Let the
Hmm.
Bassist Write One song there is. I am always delighted by that song because it's just like it's so out of fucking left field.
Yeah. Shan says, I love short stories, always have an anthology or a collection next to the toilet. Reading while they poop. That's also good.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's great.
So, why don't you go into the details about like the journey into creating this collection? Like, because we talked a lot about it, like how, like when you decided to do the cover yourself, you learned how to put the book together yourself. You didn't want to
Yeah.
rely on a third party for that.
Hmm.
You talked about how to decide how to do the table of contents and how to do the title. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. So, a quick look into the making of Portraits of Decay. One of the things that was really, really important to me in kind of creating it is that I wanted it to feel handmade, because as I was saying that the short story collection is very important, I feel like, to a horror author, but more so I think it's also important to a horror reader in that there's no book that I feel like quite captures an author like a short story collection. And I think it's because you're seeing an author's idiosyncrasies uh, projected across a lot of different narratives, a lot of different characters, and you're kind of seeing this, you're kind of getting little bits and pieces of the author here and there. You're seeing the patterns, you're seeing the repetitions in a lot of different stories. And I think for me, that's what I've always loved about collections, is that you're getting this like window into a person's mind. Um, and knowing that that's my experience as a reader of a collection, I kind of wanted to lean into that. So I wanted it to not just be my work, but also kind of on this almost spiritual level, be this absolute be me from like top to bottom in the process. So I decided, if Portraits of Decay is going to be about me, it's got to be made by me. I've got to do the cover. I've got to do the formatting. I've got to do everything I can as part of the release. So when I was starting though, I was really just thinking about like, which stories do I select? What's going to go in there? What's not going to go in there? And how's it going to be put together? And I got to call out TJ Price, who's in here, who really helped
EJ.
guide my thinking on how I kind of compiled this. And I ended up deciding on doing organizing the stories in three
Also, can I just
sections.
call out that was such good timing because as when you were saying that, Eric just said, I just let TJ do everything. So it's just really good timing, but continue.
Also a valid way to go about it, Eric.
Yeah.
So I ended up kind of grouping the stories by theme with under who we are, who we wish to be, and what we will become as kind of these almost thesis statements for the collected stories where they deal a lot with identity in some way, but also not just our current identities, but the identities we want to assume, and then also dealing with the finality of our identities, death, the fact that they're going to end. And when I kind of saw those common themes in these stories, it became very easy to group them, but it was because of those initial conversations with TJ, who I gotta say read a fuck ton of my stories. Like there's a lot of stories that didn't make it to the collection, and I'm so thankful for TJ going through, putting up with like, you know, the very annoying thing where you suggest something and then someone says no, no, not like that, and then it just keeps going
Standard
over and over.
Carson.
Well, yeah, but TJ was a fantastic sounding board and like really helped push my mind in the right direction on how to put this together. For kind of a similar struggle with it was also the title. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I knew there was a lot of ways to go about it. There was a lot of popular ways to do it. I thought about it early on. I did not want to do a title story. And again, this is no hate towards title stories at all. They're absolutely great and fine. I just didn't feel like it was right for this project for whatever reason. And I ended up kind of looking to one of my major influences, Thomas Ligotti, and
Legati.
using Songs of a Dead Dreamer as kind of the template for like a really good thematic title rather than a title story for a collection. So I ended up on Portraits of Decay because I thought one of the things that's so central to this collection is that it's painting a lot of different characters struggling under the weight of something. So I kind of felt like a key part of short fiction is the author is casting themselves in these kind of roles across the story. So in a way, using portraits was also kind of my way of alluding to the fact that these stories are all self-portraits too. No matter who the character is, there's a piece of me in all of them. So I yeah, we went through so many fucking title
Yeah.
suggestions, TJ. I remember we were really hung up on the idea of Terminus in some way, which would have been cool. But we didn't quite get there. There was a lot of other titles in the graveyard too. I can't recall all of them.
Is
Um,
Winter is Coming a legitimate one? Because that's hilarious.
no,
Damn
no, it
it.
isn't. But I do get a lot of noise complaints from that.
Yeah.
I do bellow it most nights.
I just imagine like a bull, like, wow. Is that a bull noise? I don't know.
I ring the gong in my house and I yell winter is coming. But yeah, it was really challenging to put the book together, and that's I had this vision if it was going to be this kind of DIY thing, it was going to reflect me, it's going to be a collection, you know, I also kind of thought it was necessary to take on all these items so that like the book even had a chance at being profitable because I also learned stuff from my first novelette reunion special. That was my first attempt at self-publishing, and it was an experience. And while that book it's not my favorite for sure. It taught me a lot of things, but it also taught me that I can do it better. But I also wanted to have a little bit of help if I needed it, which is why I reached out to Salt Heart Press, just so that I didn't want to take the waders off before going into the deep end. It was, and I really appreciated actually, the help that Plem gave me in bringing this
I feel
book
like I didn't do
together.
much.
Well, you did though. You hosted this event for one. You made the harried man. You created a page on your website. You posted about it, and you were available, if I had questions or thoughts about like the logistics of publishing, because you've also done a lot of this too.
Hmm.
So, it was all of that kind of stuff that was really important to me in this process because even though we had all love to just be like a fucking one man army publishing machine can't be stopped. I do think we have to utilize our networks to help each other when we can, and yeah, so while this book does reflect me, there's a ton of fucking people who also helped it. Like Andrew F. Sullivan wrote the intro, so fucking thankful for that. Eric has been championing my work for like fucking ever. Eric's, my main dude. He's a killer writer himself as well. And you should watch out for Straw World coming out, like I believe September. That's going to be a killer collection too. Um, and of course, like all the people who listen to the podcast and everything else, like there's so many people who help me, and not even mentioning the blurbs, like I think Eric blurbed it actually. Patrick blurbed it. Ivy did. We had a lot of fucking people. As I'm like, Caleb, Jolie, Emma E. Murray, like so many fucking cool people were able to dedicate their time to helping me have a good release, a quality product, something that people can put on their shelves and I can be proud that it's on their shelves. So I'm just so thankful for that.
Well, I have a few more questions, but we'll save it for that final Q&A because it's time for you to, well, it's time
Would
for the
it
second giveaway.
would it help if I didn't answer each question as a 10-minute monologue?
I mean, you do you, brother.
Okay.
This is your moment, babe.
Okay, okay.
Do whatever you want. It's your
All
release
right.
party.
I am taking off my shorts.
Okay, okay, wait a second. Wait a
Ah,
second.
it's my party and I'm not wearing pants.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit the wheel here.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for the peach drums. Shan Powell. Powell. Shan Powell.
Oh, hell
You
yeah.
win a signed copy and a. Oh, you don't live in the US.
God damn it. We'll give you an ebook though.
Yeah,
Do you do
ebook.
you
Okay,
do you do ebooks at all?
I'll put that on ebook.
Okay,
Okay, we'll
cool.
send
Yeah.
you an
We'll get you
ebook.
an ebook.
Yeah, so you
Or you know
still win.
what? No, no, no. No, no. We can cover Shan. We can just
Okay.
order from Amazon directly to their address or something. We'll figure
Okay.
it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No
Okay,
worries.
Shan, you good. You good.
We'll figure
Um,
something out.
all right. Then it's time for your reading. Do you want to tell us what you're reading and what inspired it?
Yeah, so well, you might actually have to help me out with the inspiration a little bit because I can't
Oh
quite
God.
remember what the prompt was. But I'm gonna read the first story of the collection, The Harried Man.
A
Yes,
new
Shan,
toilet book,
this is
yeah.
gonna be a hella good toilet book. No, none of the stories are like too long either. That was very important to me. Like I
Yeah,
hate
a
like
good shit length story.
yeah, exactly. Because I'm not like I usually, when there's like a 10,000 plus word story in like a collection, I
Don't
usually
at me
like,
like that.
it happens. There's a lot that I've loved too. That, you got to put an asterisk by everything.
Mm,
But for me, I kind of wanted a more consistent rhythm to the reading. So like, uh, honestly, the stories, I think none of them are like longer than 6,000 words. Most of them are around the 4,000 word mark. So good toilet read if you're like into like 15, 20 minute shits.
yeah, perfect.
Okay, anyways, Harried Man.
Yeah, okay.
We wrote this because of a podcast thing, right?
I like that you're saying we as if I helped. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a Halloween challenge.
Okay, that's
Um,
it.
it was a Halloween challenge, which is why it was Halloween themed.
Okay.
I forget what I wrote for it.
I'm sure it was
Um,
brilliant.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm pretty sure I still have it saved under I'm crying right now. Help, Carson.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Fair.
I think mine had to do with like a planet or something. Anyways, it was probably in space. But yeah, so you wrote The Harried Man and everyone went nuts for it and you were like, "Wow, I'm surprised at how well this did."
Everyone went nuts.
Everybody went
That's
nutty.
that's that itself is some fiction, Clem.
I don't
I
think
don't think we
so.
got
Look at
any
your
res
fans.
I'm
Um,
looking at them. Yeah,
Okay,
they're
it's
great.
fine if you want to be punished. So Christy said when we were bullying you, see, this is what happens. Christy
Okay.
said that she believes In Haskins will be considered one of the classics.
Oh
Or
wow.
like,
That's
let me
great.
see. Wait, yeah. At least I think so. Or somebody else said it. I can find it.
I
Christy,
think
was
that
that
might have been
you?
Emma.
Emma. Emma said In Haskins is going to be considered one of the classic. Christy said that you're super welcoming and you have amazing stories. So,
Oh,
don't make me break out all the praise. I have it on my
okay.
phone literally to bully you.
Clem, what makes you think that I haven't printed out all of those and I have them like right across from my toilet as like
Oh,
inspiration?
see, Eric said I loved Harried Man immediately and I'm number one super fan. So,
That is true. Eric is
and I
number one
loved
super
Harried
fan.
Man.
Let me do the inspo real quick and then I'll
Okay.
read it. Harried Man was inspired by my love of Halloween, but also kind of my love for like Halloween decorations and what they represent and kind of the weight of nostalgia and re-examining the past as an adult. But you'll get all of that real quick because I'm just going
Yeah.
to read it.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll show the Harried Man too at appropriate times. There you go. Yeah.
He just dances across the screen. Okay. The Harried Man. It was made out of paper. Brass tacks acted as hinges for its joints. When I found it, the thing was folded up, a flat, wild-eyed contortionist buried in my mother's attic. She passed 2 months ago, and the house was a lot of things. Smaller was the word I kept coming back to. It was smaller than I remembered because I hadn't run through its halls, tested its foundation with my bounding steps since I was a girl. But now it was time to grow up, to reckon with the past, and now that my grieving had mellowed, it was finally time to finish what I'd started. I found it in a very old box. Waxy, falling apart at the corners, something that might have carried cantaloupes years ago. In black marker and Mom's handwriting. Halloween. Of course, I remembered Halloween. Its echo was only a day away, and with it came a curious mix of emotions. Growing up, everyone around me held the holiday in a rather simple regard. They liked it or did not like it. They enjoyed candy, or dancing, or dressing up, or watching scary movies. The traditions were simple and universal. Carve pumpkins, trick or treat, tell ghost stories, decorate the house. And yet, when I saw the word Halloween, I felt a deep discomfort, a roiling tide of bile churning in my stomach. I approached the box with dread and unsettlement. Halloween for me was anything but simple. There were rubber bats and bags of recycled cobwebs. I tossed them to the side. Silhouettes of Frankenstein's monster and Dracula stared at me from their plastic door covering prisons. And then at the bottom of the box was the harried man. I remembered the name because I'd asked Mom why he wasn't hairy. She shook her head, pursed her lips. Harried, she corrected. Stressed, abused, picked on. And indeed, the man looked the part. I pulled the harried man from the bottom of the box marked Halloween and stared into his terrified features. He was assembled of cardstock, printed in comic book colors, not that different from the Frankenstein and Dracula that came before him. In fact, he had a strange sense of being too much like them, as if the harried man was just as iconic but somehow simultaneously unknown. That was the problem with seeing the harried man. In some respects, it was like seeing nothing at all. A shape, a stranger. It was like having a dire revelation permanently stuck to the tip of your tongue. Because although the harried man wasn't a Dracula or Frankenstein, his design and shape made you think that he should be. And if he wasn't an icon in his own right, then clearly there was some mistake. The harried man's face was that of illustrated terror. His mouth was agape, showing somewhat crooked and yellowed teeth. What was so specific, though, is that despite this being a Halloween decoration, a cartoonish exaggeration, was that nothing about his design was so outlandish. The things about him that were strange and unsettling were only slightly so. The teeth, while crooked, were only normally crooked. Noticeable, but not uncommon. His eyes were red and bloodshot, shaded slightly yellow around the edges, great dark bruises hanging under them like suspended half moons. His frame was thin and wiry, but true to life. The decoration, when fully unfolded, stood slightly taller than me. I watched as his legs dangled in space, and I remembered turning corners in the house and seeing the harried man, holding my chest as I felt my heart stall and sputter as a child. He was wearing a jacket with elbow patches, a striped tie, and an off-white shirt, one side of it untucked over what I assumed were brown corduroy pants. His hands were at his sides, his fingers gnarled with paralyzed fear. I set the harried man down, folded him back up. We had a history, and sometimes history is better forgotten. As a kid, Mom used to make me hang him up every year. "You've got to put him up," she said. "I don't like him," I said. "He scares me." "We still need to put him up." I always acquiesced. With tentative hands, I put a tack through the hole punch above his head, standing on my very tippy toes to place him. His body hung limp on our door, always facing inside, never out. When I asked my mom about this, she said, "Well, we wouldn't want to scare the children." "Scares me, though," I said. "I'm a child." "Quiet, grow up," she'd say. And so the harried man, our mystery decoration, hung unfettered. And when November first rolled around, when our stomachs were full of candy and another year's magic had been put to the grave, Mother would take the harried man down herself, along with the lights, skulls, and other ghoulies, and I would not see or think about the harried man for another year. One year I watched her do it, and it might have been my childish imagination, but I thought she was holding her breath. As soon as the harried man disappeared, her shoulders settled, her breath released. Years later, in the attic that still smelled like Mom, I heard her words come back to me. "He likes to eat little girls, you know." What is he? The harried man. Is he a monster? Somewhat. I thought he was just scared. No, he does more than that. He eats children, too. All I could muster as a child was, "Oh." Of course, Mom offered nothing more. Only the knowledge that the harried man seemed to be both the victim and the victimizer. No other explanation was given. In the waxy box, the cardboard cutout stared up at me. "What am I going to do with you?" I asked aloud. The harried man said nothing. "What are you from?" Again, silence. I sighed. The attic was filled with boxes. It would take more than a day to clean this up. It would take more than an uneasy trip down memory lane to relieve Mom of all her stuff. But that's what kids were for, right? Vessels for the dead. Cleaners and house sellers and historians and proselytizers all rolled into one. Mom was buried, but I'd bury her again. Orange and yellow leaves gathered in cairns along the sidewalk. Mom lived in a nice neighborhood close to a school. Outside it was dark and it wasn't even 5 yet. Children's voices gathered. Mom always said that she got lots of trick-or-treaters. Alone in the attic, I poked at the waxy box, daring the harried man to come to life and frighten me, but he did not. Emboldened and feeling like I'd broken new ground, I removed his corpse from the box. In the bottom there rolled around a thumbtack, rusty and forgotten and fortuitous. I went downstairs and tacked the harried man to the inside door, where he stood, ever fearful. On Halloween night, I returned to my mother's with a bowl of candy. I brought the rest of the boxes from the attic to the downstairs and began sorting items as darkness spread and the titters of children danced in from the street. It was true. Mom did get a lot of trick-or-treaters. More than I was prepared for. Felt like every time I sat down, I was up again to greet a new set of superheroes, vampires, and ghosts. And each time I did, my hand hesitated for the doorknob as the harried man's terror-stricken eyes drilled into my own. But the harried man was just a decoration, an obscure family heirloom. It meant nothing to anyone but my mother. In fact, as I settled back into my sorting mess, I played out scenarios in which I would throw it away, or burn it, or cut it up into little pieces and throw them into a great river that take them far away, rend them into tissuey oblivion, and then the harried man would be nothing. I stole glances at him from time to time, my curiosity and childhood fear becoming repulsion, disgust. What does he have to be afraid of? Why does he eat children? That doesn't even make sense. He could not both be a monster and look like the victim of a monster. A knock, 3 raps. I jumped. Holding my hand over my heart, I breathed deep. The sound of children. The harried man swung slightly from his tack. Maybe that's why he's so dangerous, I thought. He's a predator that looks like prey. It's camouflage. I got up to open the door, this time refusing to look at the swinging red-eyed malcontent. I pulled it open as fast as possible. In front of me was a child holding a plastic orange pumpkin, its bottom filled with candy. I tried to keep my cool, tried to believe that the child was dressed as a professor, or maybe a salesman, or maybe some pop culture icon I'd long since lost touch with. But I couldn't ignore the dark circles painted under the child's eyes. When he said trick or treat, it came out as almost a whisper. The child trembled as if in great and terrible fear. Happy Halloween, I said, as I deposited a handful of candy into his pumpkin. What are you dressed as? Child's eyes were bloodshot. I couldn't tell if it were contact lenses or if it was genuine. He said nothing. Who are you? I asked again. Again, nothing. I deposited 2 small candy bars in his pumpkin. Have a good night, I said, closing the door. And I felt ashamed, really. I shouldn't be that easy to scare. Yet when the door closed in front of me, I'd completely forgotten about the decoration. And when his wild, fearful eyes locked into mine again, I jolted backwards. As soon as I recovered, there was another knock. I composed myself, pushing my hair behind my ears and forcing my best jovial smile. Why, hello there, I started. Before me stood 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, dressed in the same attire as the last. Each of them wore the harried man's mask of terror. Each of them were dressed in a suit and tie and corduroy pants. Their free hands were contorted into the rictus of the decoration. Before they could say anything, I said, who are you supposed to be? Why are you all dressed the same? The children in their horrific makeup said nothing. Please, I said, tell me, who are you? Where are you from? My voice cracked. Why are you doing this? I backed away from the door, closing it and turning sharply to avoid seeing the decoration. With my back turned, I waited for their footsteps to become faint. They did not, though. There were no footsteps to hear. I stood in silence, waiting for nothing. I rubbed my temples. My God, I said, you're being ridiculous. Turned back to the door to open it and see the children, found only my mother's porch. Children squealed in the street, their parents waved to me, the harried woman from the sidewalk. I peered down the street to see the orange blossoms of light in between the shouting, shoving, hungry blackness. 6 children, walking in formation, each of them dressed the same. Hey, I yelled, wait! What are you? I ran out the door, down the front steps, onto the sidewalk. Children and parents alike stared at me, made way. I sprinted down the street. Hey, watch it! Someone must have gotten a trick with their treat. I tried to explain as I ran. No, no, they're dressed like a decoration, I cried. The end of the block came racing toward me. From street lamp to street lamp, I ran. In between their bursts of orange light, they vanished again and reappeared again. But when I reached the end of the block, they were gone. I was breathing hard, and the rest of the kids and their parents were looking at me strangely, wondering if I'd lost it. One asked, Ma'am, are you okay? No. Yes, I'm fine. You lose a kid? You need me to call someone? No, I don't have a kid, I said. Because he eats kids. What? Nothing. I walked back to the house. Buried memories were exhumed. It was time to look my mother's corpse in the face. Inside the house, I stared at the harried man. I did not know what he was. I did not know what he did. I did not know where he was from. But he was there, on my mother's door, just as he always was this season. His eyes wide and slightly yellowed, his teeth to match, his uniform crisp. We stared at each other for a long time. I wish I knew you better, I said, not sure if I should say it. 2 boxes, one labeled keep, one labeled trash. I turned off the porch light and ignored the pounding of tiny hands on my door. There were too many, much too many. They could wait, or maybe not. Besides, I had a decision to make. Thank you.
Eric says Evanson would be proud of that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Elle is disturbed. Elle is disturbed. Elle did not have a good time, or did have a good time with that. There's the harried man. Look at
Sup?
him. Yeah, I tried to design him exactly how you described him in the story. But
Beautiful.
also,
Yeah.
I coded him after you. I don't know if anyone's noticed so far. You noticed right away I drew the harried man to kind of look like you.
Yeah, 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 which is
Yeah.
appropriate.
So we have our final giveaway, Carson, harried man, Winter, and then we have the Q&A from the audience.
Okay,
We
cool.
got
Let's do it.
drums. I'll hit my wheel. And the winner is Arwen Sherman. We know them.
Oh, hell yeah, Arwen.
Congrats. You win
Nice, nice.
yourself a copy and a harried man that you can put on the inside of your house.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably even be sending those
Yes.
out tomorrow, so
Oh,
they
thank you.
will get to you post haste manner out now.
Yeah. Co-written by Jolie Tumajon. Yeah, Arwen, I was really scared when I saw it that I was going to do that thing where I say Armin Sherwin. And I was like, oh God. I don't know if you saw like my face where I was like, it was going to happen.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So we have time for audience Q&A if you want to ask Carson Winter about centipedes or anything
Yeah,
like that. I'm
anything.
gonna I'm gonna kick it off.
I'm an
Um,
unfortunate open book.
yeah. So Andrew's gonna head to bed in Ireland. Sweet dreams, Andrew. Um,
Appreciate you showing up
yeah,
at all, honestly. That is really late.
yeah. Tej wants to know about the cover and how it came to be.
So what happened with the cover was that I got really I decided I wanted to be a physical painting. I wanted to do it by hand rather than digital. So I bought a lot of canvases and I bought a lot of paint. My wife paints, but I don't really. So this is like actually like one of my first 4 or 5 paintings. I kind of did a series. The kind of silhouette in the background you can kind of see behind my big noggin here is actually a different painting of the harried man I did, which I thought was really kind of key to the collection and stuff. So um, I decided that with the title of Portraits of Decay, it would made perfect sense to put my face on the cover to do a self-portrait, and so that's what I did. Yeah.
Eric asks, what stories did you maybe change your mind about when putting together the collection?
Oh God. So the big one is my original plan. And it's kind of funny when because we talk about collections as authors is almost like we're planning our wedding to a degree. Like we all have our dream wedding, we all have our dream collection. And my initial plan was to theme it around a story I wrote called I don't know if I'll go that far, but maybe I will. It's a really long, unwieldy title, but it's a story I'm really proud of that's never been published. And but it's also more of a realist horror story where it's there's no spec fiction element in it. And it kind of ended up being one of those when TJ and I talked about a little bit that it just didn't really fit with everything else because all of the stories in this one are speculative to some degree, even if it's just kind of like implied, whereas this one was very much just about like misogyny, dudes being like really into hating women or something, like going on a road trip. That was kind of the vibe, is that there was this really it was really banal but very sinister was the vibe of the story. So originally I was going to title the collection off of that, but then kind of seeing the rest of the story, seeing them all together, it just didn't fit. So that one ended up on the cutting room floor, but I'm sure it'll show up somewhere.
Elle wants to know, do you have a favorite kind of decay? Mold, water damage, termites, rot, putrefaction, dry
Ooh.
rot, cavities?
Wow. Not to flex, but I've never had a cavity. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry, folks.
I
That
like that
one's
Mothman just appeared like he was warning it was gonna happen. Like he just popped up in the background, and I was like, "Ooh, I think he's saying something." Yeah.
yeah, and
Well,
here's
Mr.
and
Special Teeth.
yeah, yeah, and here's the funny thing is my private conspiracy theory, dentistry's a lie. It's a lie. It's just it's an entire lie because I took horrible care of my teeth through all my life, you know. I went to the dentist like the first time in like 15 years as an adult, and they're like, "Yeah, there's like tons of plaque, you know, you have disgusting teeth, but there's no cavities." And I was like, I think this is all genetic almost. Like I think some people just have like good genetic luck on teeth and some don't. Because my wife has always been very, very like very on the ball taking care of her teeth. She used to be a dental assistant, brushes like, you know, multiple times a day after meals, whatever. Tons of cavities, constant. And I'm just like, I think they're just trying to fuck with us. I
Well, I
think the
got you
dentists
that
just want our money.
Godzilla toothbrush holder from Japan. Do you even have a toothbrush in there?
Yeah, I
Is
do.
it
No,
just for looks?
I brush my teeth. I
Oh,
do it.
okay.
I do it because society tells me to, Clem.
What would
And
Godzilla say?
I'm a slave to the fucking
Look at these
system
teeth.
ultimately. But you know, I do it. And but to answer your question, I just like good old classic human rot, like just a body turning into a skeleton. L. That's where I'm at. I'm all about that skeleton life.
Yeah. Shan says, I've had over 14 fillings in 1 year. TJ says, it doesn't count when you harvest them from other people and surgically implant them into your own jaw.
Oh shit. Okay, thank you for
Arwen
that tip.
almost died of a tooth infection as a toddler, Oregon Trail style.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Jesus Christ.
hilarious.
Shan, my teeth regularly fall apart in my mouth. I live people's nightmares. I recently had a dream about like my teeth popping out. Oh my God, it's like literally the worst.
L,
Um,
that's absolutely
yeah,
why I even brush my teeth, is just to not have stanky breath.
yeah. Well, we're a little over time, so I'm gonna finish it with the classic question that we ask on the
Oh
podcast.
no.
Carson, I'm gonna list off the patrons and you're going to
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
I'm
I'm
like,
just
what?
kidding. What are you working on now, Carson?
Oh fuck. Right now I am taking a break from writing novels and I am back writing short fiction. I've got three novels in various stages of editing and completion. One is pretty damn close and I'm submitting it. The other two are probably going to take a couple more rounds, but I'm really excited about them. I've done like three short stories though in the last couple of weeks, and I've been starting to explore like some more dark fantasy stuff a little bit. Um, dark fantasy in that it's secondary world, but it's still very, very horror. I would consider it horror. But I'm having a really good time writing these stories. So I'm writing one right now that I would almost consider it like a Hammer horror throwback in some ways, if you got any Hammer horror fans. But it's very fun to kind of write in that mode.
So, oh, Shan
Hell yeah,
loves Hammer.
Shan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's time to wrap up, but I did
People
put the
stuck in a
link.
castle. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all I want out of horror fiction.
I put the link to the collection plus all of Carson's socials if you're not already following him and his
Yeah.
website. How many
Oh
harried
yeah.
men do you have left to send out if they want to buy one of those bundles that comes with him? Because it's a bundle that comes with a harried man, an ebook, and a signed paperback. So it's a good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Yeah, it's the best deal in America right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know how many I have left. I do still have some left though. And
Yeah.
I believe I put a number, I believe I have the stock controlled on my website.
But if
So
you want a harried man, buy it now.
they're still available. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's still a chance if you were wowed by the
Hmm.
harried man and you were like, I want to look
Can
at
we
this
see him again?
motherfucker every fucking year for the rest of my life.
Look at how beautiful this little harried man is.
This could be yours. If you want to
That
put
could be
it
yours.
in the back of your Zoom meetings at work,
Yeah, look at his face.
this is a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. Buy it now.
Yeah, please.
Portraits of Decay out now. Get your own harried man.
Honestly, don't even read the book. Just
Yeah,
get the fucking the harried man. That's what you need.
absolutely. Well,
TJ, good
that's
idea.
yeah, that's it. Put it in the back of your bathroom toilet so it'll scare the shit out of you and you can shit more efficiently.
And Shan, Curse of the Werewolf is mine.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our celebration for Carson Winter's debut collection, which is Portraits of Decay, this one.
Out now.
Out now. Pick it up, nominate it for Stoker, for Shirley Jackson, for anything. And yeah, congrats again, Carson Winter. It is your
Thank you.
collection. You are a proud father or mother of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I prefer Daddy,
a
actually.
daddy. Yes. Okay, I'm so
Yeah,
glad for that.
yeah.
So, do you have any last words for your fans here?
Um, Thank you, Clem, for hosting this. You always do a wonderful job. And thank you to all of you who showed up and
Oh my
continue to
God,
show up.
Harried Daddy, though. That's your
Oh,
new
hell
nickname,
yeah.
Harried Daddy.
But thank you to everyone who has showed up for this and showed up for all the other cool things in indie horror. Thank you for creating art that inspires me, that makes me stoked about being in this community. Like the fucking talent in this digital room is enormous. And while we don't have necessarily like the reach and the cultural cachet of other writers, we do have this really special place in the world, and it's special because we're doing this together. We're making the art we want to see in the world, and better yet, we're engaging with it. We're engaging with each other's art, which is so fucking cool. So thank you again for everyone coming. Writing a book is one thing, but having people to support you during the release and after is a whole other thing, and it's really important to me.
Yeah. Well, until next time, don't forget we have a podcast so you can listen to us every Wednesday on all of your platforms. Just go ahead and listen to us. We are there. Carson Winter, PL Macmillan, Dead Languages Podcast. Don't let us down.
I will say I'm not nearly as kind and earnest on the
I know, but you try to seem so mean, but everyone sees through it, Carson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
sees through it.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
softie.
We love you, audience.
Yep.
I guess you are still our spooky co-eds because this is technically like a DLP event. So we love you, spooky co-eds.
Love you, spooky co-eds.
Bye.
Bye.
My computer literally froze for a second. I was like, what's happening? It's the harried
Just
man.